Welcome to Naturviste. This is, you find me talking in English because sometimes I can talk in English, yes. And because I have a guest from Germany. I'm here with Julius Kübler. Welcome, Julius. He's an electrical engineer and today he's talking about this beautiful, amazing project. I asked you to do a little presentation about yourself.
Right, so as you said, my name is Julius Kübler and I'm electrical engineer and I work since 1 year right now at a project which we call Treesense. And basically with my colleague Giancarlo Foderà, we try to develop a sensor technology which is able to measure the water content of trees. And that's basically the reason why we are here today, and that's the reason why we met you. And that's the reason why I'm sitting here right now.
In my Naturviste, I really would like to open up all the conversation with different fields. So I was really interested to have someone expert in technology and how the technology right now can help us to make this planet better. So they really study something that can really understand the behavior of a tree, right?
Yes, at least that's what we are hoping for. It started just with the idea of measuring simply the water content of trees, but getting into the technology we developed and starting first measurements, we realized that most likely we are able to get way more information out of our sensor technology, and that we most likely are gonna get additional information and maybe get something which we could simply say to as an overall activity of the tree. So we hope that we can also say, well, this tree has a good living right now, it's active, it has everything it needs, or the other way around, oh, this tree maybe has some problems. We might not say specifically which problem, but we can maybe see that something is wrong with the tree. That's what we are hoping for. But we always say for now we keep it, the goal, we keep it at measuring the water content. But there is already, it's connected to the problem. I mean, if the water content, if there is something wrong with the water inside the tree, it has some struggle. And so that's the reason why we are most likely able to get deeper information of trees, actually. Yes.
Yeah, and I would like to remember that we are here in the Parco del Ticino, and they are doing some researches about trees. At the moment we struggle about oaks, because oaks really suffer the dry season, the dry of this moment of the year. Because yesterday also we talked with Professor Vacchiano, and we find that the problem of climate change is really affecting our trees. I would like to ask you how you developed this idea.
Well, the idea itself came from Giancarlo, and he came up with it, I think, 7 years ago. I hope I don't get anything wrong here. You will ask him later yourself, but I can try to make the story as I know it. And he had a conversation with a colleague from Switzerland. He's also in science, and he did some research connected with climate change, and more specifically he tried to set up some system for fire prevention in forests. And he set some measurements like the water content in the ground, soil moisture, and other sensors. And he said what's really missing is a sensor which is measuring a living tree, which tells me what's going on inside the tree. The biggest part of a forest is the trees, and he didn't find any system, any measurement to get information about the tree itself. And then Giancarlo, 7 years ago, had this idea in his head that there is a need for it.
An electronical engineer, and why nature? I wonder.
It's really random. And also when I started talking to other people and I explained what my master thesis is, and usually master thesis sounds so complicated, you know. You have a name which, well, my name in the end was also not understandable, but I could always say, well, I develop a sensor for measuring water content on trees, and then people always searched for the more difficult part, but that's it, you know. And obviously the sensor itself is complicated, so I still had to do my electrical engineering work, and it was great. But everyone is able to understand the overall idea. And that's also something I enjoyed, because I could explain it to everyone and talk about the overall topic so easily. There's so little research on trees. A tree is not as simple as you might think if you never really try to get some information about it.
And especially, I think the role of the trees at the moment are really important, fundamental in how this world changing. Because we have many problems about tree. We have a deep deforestation in Amazon forest. But in Europe, actually, the good news that we have forests growing and growing.
We called our project Treesense, so the overall idea is sensing a tree, and we always have this subtitle underneath it which says making trees talk. Well, they can't talk to us, they can't say what's going on. And that's the overall idea. I mean, right now we are starting with one sensor, but we already have this idea in our head that we want to get more sensors into it to get more information about the whole tree, and basically with our technology making the tree able to talk to us and say what's going on with me, and in a way that we can understand, because our way to interpret information of trees is very limited. We can just look at it basically, and it's hard. You can already see a lot what's going on, but most likely at a point where it's already too late, you can see the damage which already happened.
That's the problem. And also to prevent fire.
Right, so we noticed, working on the topic, that there is 3 main topics which might need this kind of sensor. And the first one, obviously, which we also talked about right now, is the research, the science. Climate change is a word everyone is talking about right now. And a lot of scientists started doing a lot of research. I mean, they always did, but now it's even more. And they are interested in getting new sensors to get more information about what's going on. The second one is the agriculture. And I mean, it's obvious they are interested in getting, they are more like financially interested. They want to make profit out of their trees. In a lot of dry regions, they have to water the trees regularly. And they're not really sure how much water they have to give to them. It's experience. They just say, I did it always like that, and it worked. Then we say, yes, it worked, but listen, now there's climate change. Conditions are changing really drastically. And actually the farmers themselves, they notice. And they are confused because they did something for the past, 30 years. They are used to do it that way, and suddenly it doesn't work that good anymore. And the third thing, which you already mentioned, is forest fire prevention. So knowing that a tree is super dry and has a lot of drought stress in it is an important thing for fire prevention, because what makes a forest fire really bad is when the top of the tree starts catching fire, because then things are bad. But they are not that likely to catch fire when they are wet inside. So then what happens is the fire stays on the ground, and it's not that bad, because only like the small plants they burn. But the big trees, they keep living, and it's way quicker for the whole forest to come up again after it. But
that's why it's so important to know how much water does in a tree.
Right, because and knowing that the top of the tree is dry sets the risks much higher, because then the fire will rise up way bigger and get bigger in general, and also has way worse impact to the forest itself. So that's why this additional information is really interesting there too.
In conclusion, Julius, I would like to ask you if you can leave a message to the people who's watching us.
Right.
What do you leave about your activity, your role, what you are doing?
All right, yeah. Maybe the message I would give away is basically the message I learned myself during this whole project. Because starting with this project, a tree was, well, just a tree for me. It was just that, basically the word and the thing I looked at, and not more. But working on this topic and doing some research, I mean, there is already a lot of research. You can just look it up. It's there. A tree is way more complex than I had ever imagined, and it's crazy. You can get into it, but still there's not too much research, so there's still a lot we can learn. A lot is unknown. There's things which we don't know how a tree is able to do it, and it sounds so simple, a tree, but it's an amazing thing if you look closer, and that's maybe the message I want to give away.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was a really nice interview.
I will leave all the links under my video, so you can find out more about this amazing project about trees and engineering. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Great. That's
Yay.
fun.
We did it. Fun.
Video with the sound manually together. So we should make like a clap that you find the connection.
That's a good idea.
Nice.
Così sappiamo quando parte. Okay, this is the first interview, Naturvista, in English, so be patient with me. I will subtitle this interview, don't worry, Italian people. No, non ancora. In conclusion, thank you very much for...
Don't worry, don't worry.
Sto male. Okay, minute 4. Okay, working. You just...
Take your time.
When I start to be silly, it's a never ending story. Ragazzi, ce la posso fare?